Let's start in on the complex fire. So if you did the last one, which was a simple fire, the one that we had before, we had three elements to it. We had the animated texture for the flames, and then we had the glow and some smoke coming from it. We're going to basically add to it, but we're going to create it from scratch again. We're going to go a little bit of a different route. We're not going to do sub-emitters or anything in it. We'll just do individual ones. Let's go ahead and start by going to our Create and Particle System. And let's place the position. Again, we'll place it down there at 0, 0, 0. We may find that we need to raise it up or down if we're using some of the images. The first one we'll do, we're not going to do the flames to start with. We're going to do the fire itself. Just kind of more of the overall glowing of the fire. The name for this one, let's just go ahead and call this one Fire. And for the fire itself, let's lower the that one and open up our renderer. We should see one that says fire. Let's see if we have the there we go, fire cloud. Just left click and drag the fire cloud over to the material. Alright, so with that one, we'll go ahead and do our sort mode on it. The sort mode, I'm going to go ahead and do it by distance, just to make sure that we do have that it's being seen in the right way. Okay, let's go up to the top, and on the particle side, we'll go ahead and leave the duration. You can leave as default for 5, or you can set it to 1. Usually I like to set it to 1, just so that there's that kind of common value for it. Okay, for the lifetime, our lifetime, we're going to do the two values. That way there's a little bit of a difference between how it's going to be creating, how long it's going to be lasting. We'll go for about a half second, and we'll make it all the way up to 2 seconds. The start speed, for the start speed, we'll actually use it instead of force, so we'll do a 2 constant on the speed, and we'll do a 0.1, and then we'll go all the way up to about a 0.2 to 0.3, somewhere around there. Let's see, maybe even a little bit higher. Let's see, maybe a 0.5 for that. Yeah. Alright, let's change our start size. The start size itself, let's go to another 2 constant here, and we'll go for about a 0.5 to a 1.25. Let's see how that looks. Should be okay, somewhere around there. Alright, for the start rotation, similar to like we've done before, we'll go ahead and do a 2 constant 0 to 360. And you could also do, if you want to bounce it back and forth, you could do a negative 180 to positive 180. You could go that way as well. Alright, the start color, I'm just going to turn the alpha down on the color. We'll take it about halfway. Let's see. Yeah, probably about halfway. So 128. There we go. The gravity and the velocity, we'll keep those at 0. So for this simulation, we could leave it at local if you want to keep it in one spot. However, I think I'm actually going to keep, we'll do a, well no, I'm actually going to keep this one at local. That way if we do move it, it actually is kind of like that driving force of heat, so it's going to stay really close to the center point. And then the particle amount, we'll go ahead and just take it down to 100. For this one, it really doesn't matter until you start optimizing as to how many you really want to have, and or if you're trying to be specific with how many are visually on scene for a certain event. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to our shapes and our emissions. The emission on this one, we'll go for about a 10 to 15 range. So we'll do like a, let's see, I'll do about 12, 13. We'll go for about a 13 on this one. For the shapes, we still want to stick with the cone that we have. The size, the angle, it's coming out at a pretty decent amount. We want them a little closed in though. Let's close it into, let's go for about a 0.01, about a 0.05. We want it just tight enough that we're able to get it all together so it feels like a fire or flame coming together with it. Alright, so once you have that one, then let's go ahead and go down a little bit further here. Let's go down to our force over lifetime. So the force of it, we'll go ahead and raise it up a little bit, the value going upwards. We'll take that one up. Remember, to make the Y value going up, just change it to world, and then we'll have a upward value on it, probably around a point, let's see, 0.2, 0.3. Yeah, so probably anywhere between a 0.2 and 0.3. I go for a 0.25. There we go. Okay, so we're starting to kind of get that really centralized heat coming from the fire. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do the color over lifetime so we can have a little bit of a fade that happens within it. The color over lifetime, let's start. We'll just start by zeroing out the alpha on both sides. We just want to have it nice and clear through it there. And then let's add 2 points into the center again. Point on the right, we'll go ahead and bring it up. And I'm not going to take it all the way up. I'm going to take it to about almost like a 190, let's see, somewhere around the 190 range. And then over on the right hand side, the right tick right there, we'll take this one up as well. Let's take this up. We actually want to make sure that it doesn't get too much, almost where it feels more like a heat vapor coming off of it. So let's see, nearly around there. That's actually looking pretty good. We'll go for about a 80 range on this one. Alright, and then I'm going to blend with some color over the lifetime. We'll go ahead and put in a little bit of color right here. I'm just going to drop in on that bottom bar the color. And for color, let's go for a an orangish brown right here. Let's see if we can get a nice little, just about where it's coming off of it. We just want to have a little bit darker, and then it gets faded away. We'll go a little bit darker on that one. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so I have our color over lifetime. Let's do our size over lifetime now. Be sure you check that one and click on it. When you open up the curves rollout on this one, the size over lifetime, let's go ahead and say that we want it to at least get a little bit bigger, so we'll do a 1.25. Oh, let's see if we can get a 1.25 here. Or a 1.3, so we'll do a 1.3 on there apparently. And I'm just going to take the start size small. We'll take it around probably to like a point, anywhere between 0 to 5, 0.0 to 0.5, so maybe a 0.2 to 0.3, somewhere around there. And then let's go ahead and have an arc to it. I'm going to simulate this so we can start seeing it here. On a arc going up, there we go. So we want it to feel like it's billowing out, and then once it gets too much oxygen, we're just taking it up and it just gets removed out from it. The right hand side, let's take this over about, we'll go for about a somewhere around a little bit above a 5, so point, maybe, let's see, 0.6, 0.7, somewhere around there. And then just kind of increase it, so now we have just kind of an upward that's going to go small, billow out, and then shrink back in. So it almost looks like it's kind of consuming itself. There we go. Nice. So it's got a good feel to it. Alright, so let's do a little bit more for these. We're going to lower that part. We'll do the rotation over lifetime. And then instead of doing the 45 on it though, let's do just 2 constants. And we'll do value anywhere between probably negative 50, 50, 45, negative 45, somewhere around there. I'm going to try a, we'll do like a negative 45 to 45. Yeah, there we go. So that looks pretty good. You can kind of see with the texture wireframe the motion that's happening there. Alright, so we have a flame motion going on. So this will be the first part of our overall flame. Let's go ahead and relabel this one, make sure we call it fire. And I think we've got everything else set up. Looks pretty good. Okay, so piece number 1 done, and then we'll just continue adding more and more pieces to it until we get all the major parts into the fire, and then we can make adjustments for all of them to work really well together.